Level Up Nation live from a room in my apartment. Um, thanks. Applause, applause. I'm your host, Stacey Pruitt, and I'm joined with my co-host, Justin Pritchard of the Justin Pritchard Real Estate Team. And we are talking all about COVID recap.
Oh my God, it's my favorite subject in the last 2 months. COVID.
Right. You know what's funny is I didn't think about this. I'm like, if we just migrate away from Corona, like, are we still calling it Corona, or is it like strictly the C-19? Like, what's the slang on this bad boy now?
What's the slang? What's the street cred for COVID?
Yeah.
I have no idea. You know what? It was Corona at first until all the beer memes came out, and then everybody's like, no, it's COVID-19 because it's serious now, and it was, and it is still serious, but. This is a bit of a recap, you know, the highs, the lows, you know, the fun stuff, some of the wins. Like, that's, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it's awesome to talk about this because the one thing that I think is really, really kind of cool is everybody learns to level up themselves personally in captivity. So I think it's really
captivity.
for the most part, unless you are deemed a frontline worker or essential worker, which is really wondering how long that term is going to stick around.
I hope it sticks around for a long time, because it doesn't matter what kind of threat there's, happening in our society or any kind of crisis. These people are heroes every single day, and they don't get enough credit. Not in my opinion. It's they go to war for us every single day, and you hope that you don't need them, but they're there for you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So if we let's start from the very beginning. There's my Julie Andrews moment of the day. Going a little crazy here. But yeah, so
the hills are alive
with the sound of my not music. So, anyways, COVID we went into lockdown. I would say March 15th was kind of like the day-ish.
Yeah, it felt like, well, it was, obviously as soon as provincial and federal government started taking this extremely seriously and locking down and shutting down businesses and talking about the massive repercussions that were going to be coming from this health-wise and economy-wise and things like that, that really woke up the public, right? So everybody, up until that point, it was just memes. It was, oh, this is happening in somebody else's country, right? I hope.
And people are hoarding toilet paper.
Yeah, I hope everybody's okay. Oh shit, I gotta grab toilet paper. It's just that, and then all of a sudden, and then don't mind the pun, and then the government shut everything down, right? And then at that point in time, everybody woke up, was like, whoa, this is really serious, and it's here.
Yeah, well, for me it was weird because I was in BC. It just so happened I moved a little bit, then went to BC, and then had the rest of my move. So I was kind of like obsessed with my own life and not really paying attention to what was going on. And all of a sudden I hear that people are hoarding toilet paper, napkins. I thought people were joking. And I'm not even like, that's the funniest part of it.
I thought so too.
I was like, come on guys. No. And then it turned out to be really real. And I had just moved, so I had to obviously stock my place with all the new stuff. So I remember going to Walmart and I had an overfilled cart, and I'm like, guys, I'm not a hoarder. Okay, look at this move. So, but it was weird. I've never said that in my life to anybody in a line.
I'm not a hoarder. Hey, Emily was she was at a grocery store, and she was grabbing just regular groceries, right? Wasn't stocking up, wasn't going crazy, and she had toilet paper in there, and she was getting judgy looks. I'm like, yeah, so just because people are freaking out and hoarding toilet paper doesn't mean that people stop needing toilet paper, right?
I know.
That's how biology works, right?
I mean, if you want to get creative with the cheese whiz and go in the shower or what, I don't know. Don't use cheese whiz.
Oh, don't go there. We don't want to go there. That's a different show entirely.
So awful. Okay, blooper reel that.
But do you know what though? It's we're revisiting this for a reason, because we went through, you know, this whole phase, and it went through a ton of different phases throughout this entire journey, and it's not over yet. So folks, we're not making light of a serious situation. However, we're kind of making light of ourselves and how everybody reacted and things like that over the period of time as we're dealing with this. And the reason why it's kind of fun to talk about right now is because it feels like the bottom's passed and we're on the upswing on recovery, right? So they're releasing things. You know, we're being released. Release us. We're being allowed to go out and open our businesses and do cool things again and get back to life, even though it might be a little bit different. We're allowed to do that. So it feels great. It just feels amazing. I don't know about any of you, but man, I feel fantastic. I'm still quarantined, locked down, and everything else. But it feels free. It feels like I'm out of jail, right?
It feels like I got grounded by the government.
Yeah.
Just like, come on. Can I go out? Can I go play with my friends? Please?
Yeah.
With that annoying sound you did for. Hi Tao.
You want to go
Sounds
play
like
with your
this
friends?
is my everyday. This is how I
Yeah,
feel.
exactly.
Yeah, so week 1 was kind of crazy. Week 2, I know people were bummed about the whole St. Patrick's Day thing and not
Right?
being able to go out. So we saw a lot of interesting videos, a lot of virtual parties, a little
Yeah.
virtual green happening. Then by the 3rd week, it was kind of a little bit devastating because we saw a lot of local small business owners really struggling. Um,
Yes.
this was before the government had announced a lot of the relief programs. Like there were rumblings of it, but nothing was actually given to the public. So I know personally, I've been helping to promote King of the Pigs
Yep.
on Hamilton Road here in London, Ontario, and you were promoting the market over yonder where you are.
Over.
Yeah, I think that by week 3 and week 4, people were really feeling it. And then mental health awareness became a huge deal because 4 weeks in captivity, we're seeing an increase in substance abuse, an increase in alcoholism, an increase in captivity where everybody's like, you know, tensions are high. So we saw the jokiness turn to a very seriousness.
Yes.
You were gonna say something before I just kept talking and didn't let you get in.
Well, sort of. Yeah, I'm used to that. I'm just joking.
Well,
Well, you distracted me. So no, it's you know, the mental health thing. It got really, really serious. But before that, before the mental health really became a big topic of discussion, it was really about the small businesses. And I just wanted to revisit that because, you know, we were promoting King of the Pigs and the local farmers markets and things like that, which is great. But what I was seeing was that we weren't the only ones. And I was seeing other realtors and I was seeing other business owners. I was seeing people support each other. Even if somebody was hurting and struggling themselves, they were still supporting other people. It was just a really beautiful thing to see humanity step up to the plate and take care of each other. Like,
yeah, you really started to see people blossom
yeah,
and people divide the complainers versus the leaders, which
yeah,
is what I thought was really unique and cool because there's a lot of people that just stepped up to the plate to make caps and gowns. Our friends Messi and Rena, supporting the frontline workers, like they were doing a fantastic job.
yeah,
Um, some good news from John Krasinski. I
yeah,
know that was a huge birth
yeah.
thing of this COVID-19.
And Michael Balaban, right?
Yeah, oh my
Doing
God.
his thing. He's doing his Elvis show at night at
Yeah.
8 o'clock every night, doing his
The
karaoke.
tickle
But
trunk.
yeah,
It's
that's it. Oh, don't. Anyways, totally different show. But he was stepping up to the plate, and he was ozonating frontline workers' cars, right? So humanity, our communities, they stepped up, and uh, I hesitate to say, but a crisis allowed people to step up to the plate and become those leaders and become those support workers and become those, you know, everyday heroes in the side of the community. That was beautiful to see. There was another side of it, though. There was some individuals. You know, it's not all positive. There's some negative too. There's a lot of negativity going around. A lot of judgy. a lot of judgingness,
Work
a lot of
shaming.
work shaming like crazy, soapboxing, and you know, I didn't know anything was going on over here. I was ignoring it, and then I was doing memes and everything else, and then I was like, and then I'm not saying me. I'm just saying that like all this stuff was happening, ignoring it, making fun of it, and then on a dime the next day, you can't do this, I do this, you shouldn't do that. I'm like, come on, guys, like, you know what? That's anyways,
Yeah, and who are you
it
to
was a
say,
little
like,
disappointing. It was a little disappointing
yeah,
to see some people step up like that or
yeah.
not step up like that, right?
Well, it's just like it shows the difference between the communitarians and the dictators.
Mm,
Like the people who are like, no, I am saying this, these are my boundaries, you need to respect them, you need to do this, you need to do that. And they're just like, dude, chill the effort out. We literally are all in this together. Either
literally.
you're working your ass off, trying to like be a frontline worker and assist everybody, or you're stuck in captivity. Yes, you're dealing with your kids. Yes, you're dealing with whomever, or you might be solo like me and my dog. Um, but like it's not our norm. So then the whole new norm came out, which was
New virtual, right? The new normal, and then that was the key word, the new normal, right? And everybody was changing their business models and changing their work life structure and all that kind of stuff so that they could accommodate and have a new sense of normalcy, right? Which was great, but then it didn't end. Like everybody's thinking, okay, it's going to be over, it's going to be over, it's going to be over, even though the government was saying, like, expect 8 months, expect a year. You know what's really nice though is that our government did step up. And I know that there's a lot of criticism out there for governments and the decisions, the difficult, hard decisions that people had to make to be able to take care of an entire population in the middle of a crisis like this. But I'm proud of our government. I'm proud of us. I'm proud of each other. Like we did a really great job. And you were talking about mental health, and that's the last thing that we've been dealing with is before this started turning around, it was becoming very depressing. It was becoming very dark and hard. It was, as opposed to, like people were finding reasons to apply energy and hope to situations and communities and, frontline workers and volunteering and things like that. Beautiful. But you're still dealing with this negativity, this, I don't know. I felt it. You felt it. I know that a lot of people felt this. Is like, when's this going to be over? And it's becoming harder and harder and harder just to be able to do, everything that you were doing on a daily basis. And I'm lucky. You're lucky. You're alone in your apartment. I get that. And loneliness and all that kind of stuff. And that's hard to deal with. But I was talking with somebody that had 5 kids.
mm-hmm.
5 kids, homeschooling at home. Both the husband and wife are having completely disrupted work situations. Then they had to learn how to go virtual. Then they had to continue to work while they're homeschooling their kids and dealing with financial crisis. And oh my God, like some of us had it a lot luckier than others, and we're able to deal with it a lot easier, right?
Yeah. Well, and then on the flip side of that, one of the positives that I see is that a lot of parents were saying, this is the most time I've been able to spend with my kids since they were born. I saw a lot of really cool TikTok videos of parents, grandparents, all trying some fun new stuff. It even seemed like there was like a tech hiatus too. There was like a weird, I want to say around Easter time maybe. It seemed like everybody had went offline. And the reason why was everybody was actually doing things with their families.
Yeah.
They were doing board games, they were doing science projects, they were playing outside. We had a few nice days, and then we had snow too. Like,
oh, don't get me started on the snow. But on the technology, do you know what else that I noticed was really cool? Is that this tech hiatus that happened, that was a season with this whole, situation where all of a sudden social media died and everybody's out, enjoying the weather and everything else. But then I noticed that there was a ton of new technology adoption by people, companies, and seniors. A lot of seniors.
Yes! Oh my gosh.
Tapping in. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to throw my dad under the bus, but I kind of am. But he's like, Dad knows how to use Facebook now. He's like, oh my God, this is the craziest, coolest thing in the world, right?
Yeah, we see so many parents having video calls with their parents,
Yeah.
which is really neat because at 86 years old, you know, who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? And they were having so much fun with it.
I
This
know.
is the funniest part of this is I love my grandparents. I'm so fortunate, knock on wood, that I have both sets left. And both of them, like they're happy with, they've been in quarantine for the last like 30 years. They're retired. Um,
What
but
quarantine? What's going
I
on?
know, but they were loving this. They're like, you know, everybody wants to talk. They actually have time for us. Like, it was really interesting to see how involved the seniors were getting and
Yeah.
how cool and fun and how much joy it brought to them. So, like, they could actually see their grandkids. And yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that was a really neat win.
People were doing dinners, people were doing birthday parties. My dad had his 70th birthday party, and typically a big 7-0, right? Like, that's
Yeah.
a big ass party typically. So what we did is we just did a Zoom party, invited all his friends, all the family, everybody popped on for 10, 15, 20 minutes, half hour, whatever, shoot the breeze. And dad was sitting there he was just having a great time talking. He was like, this is so neat. This is so neat. Like, over and over and over again. It was just the coolest thing to see, right? So
That
nice to
is
be able to do
neat.
that.
That was pretty cool. And then I think the other win for us is the fact that, again, I can't stress this enough, but how everybody has come together and really deciding what's best for ourselves and what's best for others. And being able to have the patience and understanding to move forward in times like this. So I just thought it was really interesting to see how everybody adapted and going through those motions. It's almost like the stages of grief, but
Kind
not
of.
grief,
No, kind of. Yeah,
pandemic-y.
kind of. It was a very disruptive thing. So it's just like almost on a week to week basis, it felt like a new decade, right? It was, it
Yeah,
had a different flavor. Every week had a different flavor, right?
it
Uh,
did.
it really did, which is neat. But do you know what I'm most proud of? And not as a kind of as a final thought, I'm most proud of the people that used this time. Right. So some people use the time to reconnect with their family. Some people use the time to, to gain some peace and to meditate and to work on themselves. And some people worked on their businesses. Level Up Nations for entrepreneurs, right? We really want to showcase and support entrepreneurs in their journey. And at the end of the day, there were so many people that took this time, this downtime or virtual downtime, to really tap into building a skill set, learning new skills, building a side hustle, making headway in their business, working on their business as opposed to having to be in their business all the time. Because as entrepreneurs, like, we got to do the books, we got to do the marketing, we got to do everything, we got to do the sales, and then we've got to service our customers. Sometimes it's a lot. It's a lot. And so having that downtime where you're no longer serving those customers, you got some extra time, using it to be able to work on your business, take your business to the next level. Yeah, I'm proud of you guys. Like, that was amazing. I saw so many different examples of people supporting other people, but also taking the time to work on themselves and their businesses. It was really neat.
Absolutely. Well, there you guys have it. That's Dustin's final thoughts for this episode. If you've been listening, if you've just, oh my gosh, another blooper reel.
Just been listening as of for the last 20 minutes.
If you are just tuning in, you are listening to Level Up Nation. Again, I'm your host, Stacey Preer, joined with co-host Dustin Pritchard, both of the Dustin Pritchard real estate team. And we were just recapping the COVID quarantine highlights and lowlights.
Lowlights and highlights.
COVID cats. We didn't even talk about that or murder hornets. Next time.
Next time we'll talk all about murder hornets. Oh my God. All right.
All right. Let's wrap this up before I can't speak anymore.
Nice. All right. Thanks for joining us today. Level Up Nation. Have a great day, guys.
You too.